Are you aware of cases yourself or through the literature where patients have been coerced into selecting assisted dying?
It's a great question, David, and the answer is no. I've never heard of it, and it doesn't, we could look and try to find those cases. Here's a really important point to bring out. In Oregon, almost 19 out of 20, about 90, just a little bit less than 95% of patients who choose voluntary assisted dying are in hospice. If they're in hospice, they have visits on a regular basis by the hospice nurse, the bath aide, the social worker, the chaplain, sometimes the medical director, their own family doctor. And if there's coercion, it's discoverable because these people aren't off somewhere that we don't know what's going on in their life. We know they're very connected, they're part of the system. So coercion, no, there isn't. Also really important to bring up, and we haven't talked about this, is that the disabled are not, there's never been any evidence that this group, and I don't know why in the US, but somehow some of the disabled groups have gotten a message that they're at risk for this. And I understand why disabled groups, and I am sad about it, that we haven't treated them with more dignity and better services that we have historically. But there's no evidence that minorities, people of color, the poor, the groups of anyone has had abuse. In fact, the head of disability rights in Oregon, the chair of the organization, which is a nonprofit for them, writes yearly a letter stating that there's not been evidence in his organization regarding abuse of aid in dying.
Because this is one of the biggest concerns of politicians in this country and others, where it would be an easy path to push someone down for a relative, let's say, who stands to benefit from their death.
It's not an easy path. It's nigh on impossible. And again, the safeguards that your new laws propose and that we have had in Oregon for 22 years never have shown it. So something to be aware of. I agree, we should always be careful. We wouldn't want that to be.
But in your 22 years of experience with it, to date, there's not been cases. In fact, would it be fair to say, from my reading of the literature and my experience here as a doctor where it's not legal, is that if you were a relative where you wanted to do that, it would be detrimental to subject that relative to an open, transparent, state-sponsored process if you wanted to coerce them. Because you'd want to be doing it quietly in the dark, I think.
Yeah, and in those evil places, I'm sure that would happen, and I hate to think of that's true, but we do know, sadly, that there is domestic violence and elder abuse, and those are sad areas, but not in arenas such as voluntary assisted dying. That's not where that would occur.